Shut up, Mark Hamill, not our boss. Hi, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and this is Force Ghost Rob.
Hey,
hi, Force Ghost Rob. Hi, Ghost. Hi, Ghost Rob.
You like it? You like it. You like it. You like it. Look, I love the movies with the blue aliens, so I became one. I'm, like Force blue ghosts, blue aliens. It's all the same, right?
Lobo says face orange frowning. Yeah.
I mean, you weren't even here yesterday, right?
Who, me?
You were like, you were just a voice. And then we had Azatru's Gorilla. Like, it was a weird show yesterday.
Yeah, Azatru was a robot gorilla. Yeah, that happens sometimes.
He was a Animorph. What the hell they call those stupid? A Maximal?
A Maximal. Maximal.
Hey, you remember that cartoon Centurions from the 80s?
Yeah.
Power Extreme. Right? It was these three guys, and like one was air, one was water, one was earth, and they and they'd have different weapons that would attach to their suits. And then somewhere around season 2 or 3, they decided to add like 15 mother characters to that thing, right? They're all like diversified. Yeah, they had like a Native American, they had a kid, a bunch of fucking characters. You didn't know what the themes were anymore. You got lost. Show went out of business. Like that's what the Beast Wars are to me. I don't know what the theme is, because if Transformers can turn into Dinobots and insects, then what's the difference?
Is there a donkey? Is there a donkey Transformer yet? I'll buy that one.
Hey, don't give Katzenberg any ideas, dude. You mix that DreamWorks produced those original Transformers movies. You mix that with Shrek, you got a Shrekformers.
Yeah, the kids love Shrek nowadays. Beats me why.
No, they love Puss in Boots. They give two shits less.
Puss in Boots was good. Puss in Boots was a much better movie than any of the Shrek movies ever were.
You put out one of those fugly looking Shrek movies again, watch it do less than Ezra Miller. You know, like they're gonna have to change the art style. That Shrek animation does not age well.
Better than Ezra.
I mean, look, let's be honest though, Shrek does look better than half the CGI in the Flash. I mean, if we're gonna be critiquing here.
I still feel bad. I still feel bad for the Flash as a movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. It
feels to me like the more loonier parts were trying to be like The Mask, right? Like, but it didn't go far enough. Yeah, because I hate the dog bit at the end where the dog's slipping around. He's got like crazy animations in his face, like it's cartoony.
I thought that was just trying to be like James Gunn. That's when I saw that kind of stuff. That's what that reminded me of. Like they were going amiss.
But then he did the Looney Tunes face when he's in the Speed Force. Remember, he did the big Looney Tunes face with the giant. Yeah.
Keaton came through in the
Keaton was the man.
Yeah, he did. He was perfect. I saw a shot came out yesterday of Batman from the Catwoman movie, and I saw
Batgirl movie.
I meant to say the Batgirl movie, and
the Batgirl tax write-off, Jason.
And it looked like he was in the tower where he killed Joker. Is that where he was?
The cathedral, Gotham Cathedral. Yeah. They actually gave him shadows again. Like that was a complaint I did have about the movie. It's like, why are they filming Keaton's Batman all over, like almost like Batman and Robin, where there was no lighting on him? Like why don't you give him some shadows, man? Come on.
What's kind of funny is whenever I start and I sit at this desk and I turn everything on here in the Batcave and I go to get going, I don't have these shadows. And then by the time the show starts, I got this shadow on my face every time. I don't know. I maybe need to change where my desk is. Anyways, but Keaton came through in the movie. It was good.
Yeah.
He was good. He makes it worth it. Like for me, I don't really care about the Flash. I don't really know what an Ezra Miller is for the most part. And but the thing I like about it is it does
Crispin Glover with late 90s Michael Jackson somewhere around there.
Crispin Glover with the skills to start a cult is what it sounds like. But whereas our Crispin Glover just made Clowny Clown, a great song. Did Keaton come through? Yeah, he did. And the thing about it is it does like a good capstone to the two Tim Burton films in terms of like his character. You know where his character goes, where he went, and where he ends up. So in a weird way, it's sort of nice because when you go on a Michael Keaton Batman little adventure, and you want to like some closure in the arc, it's there now. You could technically treat it as a trilogy if you wanted to. And considering that I don't really care about the other DC films at all, they're not some movies I watch really over again. I've seen them all, but I don't watch them more than once usually. I own a bunch of them and I don't like them, so I stopped buying them. And but this one right here, like I said, it offers me that at least, so I had a good time with it. But the visual effects are awful. And but today, Bespin Bulletin put out a story. And by the way, he has another story I really want him to put out. I wish he would get on it. It's a good one on Andor in reserve. It's had it in reserve, and I hope he does that one. So everybody bother him to put that one out this week or next week, whenever he feels like it. I want to talk about it. But the thing that he has today is about the Rogue Squadron movie. And when I saw this, I was like, the first thing I thought was, well, Kathleen Kennedy said Rogue Squadron could be a television show, could be a Disney Plus series. She said that. And then when we look at what Bespin has here, I can't help but go, it definitely connects in some way. There's definitely like a possibility that there's connective tissue here, and that may even still have Patty Jenkins interested if they are interested in working with her. There is a little bit of like, there was some like, kind of, I think it was Snyder who was saying like that she was coming off very difficult. But the thing about it is I always like to be devil's advocate, especially when people get a bad rap. I don't like it when the internet gangs up on people. That shit's weak. But what ends up happening,
unless they do karate in their front yard for a living.
Oh yeah, right. In red cum soaked sweatpants every time. Fucking loser.
Right.
I hope I run into him someday. We could see if my Cobra Kai holds up. That's how I die. That's how I die. That's how I get killed. I die. I'm like, ugh. Anyways,
Yeah. You
probably
brought me back from the 80s karate. I don't know, man. This is funny.
But anyways,
All right, okay.
so his Rogue Squadron scoop, Bespin's Rogue Squadron scoop is I don't know. I think it's interesting, and Patty was getting ganged up on. But the thing that I always want to throw out there is we don't know these people's sources. I don't know Snyder's sources. I don't know who they are. So all we can do is sort of guess, right? But it was the week that information comes out. It's still the week that Patty's out there saying, or basically telling Warner Brothers to suck her big dick. And rightfully so, when you think about what they did to her like career, how they fucked it with their decisions. They pulled her off Star Wars and canceled her movie. That's every single reason to say suck my balls after something like that. Right? And so I'm trying to be fair to her, because I don't know. I've never heard that she was an asshole personally or anything like that. But on the other side of this story, look at how they talk about Taika. Taika's just he's working. Oh, he's just a slow writer, but we love him basically. And you don't see that kind of love for Patty. You don't see that being expressed by Kathleen Kennedy. So maybe
that Wonder Woman 84 did a lot of harm. Let's just be honest, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it may have.
It didn't do her any favors. I love that first Wonder Woman movie, but that one that Wonder Woman 84, Jason, like, you gotta understand.
But
like,
also,
I try to tell people.
But I also always have to tell people that the last movie you saw from the person doesn't get their Star Wars movie canceled. Usually,
yeah. Well, the same way that the last one doesn't mean it. Look, James Mangold did the Wolverine, 2, and then he did Logan. So like, it happens. I mean, Steven Spielberg made Jurassic Park and then made Jurassic Park 2. Like, he did that in reverse. So,
yeah,
it happens. But I'm just saying, people remember the last thing he did, and that movie just didn't help anybody,
Yeah.
So
Bespin says, I told you last night, my first thought was maybe it's a series related due to his past work. And that's what I thought when you were telling me. We're on the same page here, buddy.
Buddy.
Come
yeah.
on.
Yeah, my friend. Yeah, my
Do you,
it's gonna be real nice.
Hey,
angry.
You ain't built for this, buddy. Do you want on the show today?
Built.
If you want on the show today, I'll fucking send you the link and you can come here and you can share your peace of mind. All right.
We all got a face built for podcast, Jason. What are you talking about?
Best rated show we've ever done wasn't a Star Wars show. Second one,
Youthful Voices.
The one without our faces.
Youthful voices. Yeah, it's the voices that are the problem. Faces. Yeah, faces.
Yeah, but let's read Bespin's article to him in his own voice.
Oh yeah.
All right. Hello there. Today I'm bringing you. No, I'm kidding. Today I'm bringing you a minor exclusive regarding Star Wars Rogue Squadron, the long in development film from Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins. And for the record, personally, these are the kind of stories I like the best. You know, I mean, like, it's minor because people are like, I want to know what's going to happen in my next Star Wars story, and I want to know now. But in reality, like, this is actually interesting. This is actually like an interesting piece of the development of this property that's going to happen or not. And if when it does happen, it becomes an interesting esoteric fun fact, at least. But but who knows what kind of impression or sort of like the way it will help shape it as it goes on. I mean, sometimes there is nothing to do with the last thing. Sometimes whatever comes before has nothing to do with what the final product is, but sometimes it does shape where it goes. And you could support Bestman Bulletin on Patreon if you read his site. And I suggest that you do, or give him a coffee and say, this is just the tip, because I don't know you well enough. All right, so Star Wars Rogue Squadron was announced back in December 2020 with the intention of the project being released in December of this year. Unfortunately, the production hit a bit of a bump when the film's director, Patty Hankins, had to postpone work on the project due to scheduling conflicts. As it's believed, the director had to prioritize, you spelled prioritize like a dummy. That's totally wrong, by the way. Work on a third Wonder Woman with an S. It's a Z, duh. Work on a third Wonder Woman movie, which was later canceled. Ultimately, due to Jenkins having to work on a third Wonder Woman film for Warner Brothers and DC, Rogue Squadron was indefinitely delayed, and since then, Lucasfilm had turned their attention to various new film projects, with the next Star Wars film due to release in May of 2026, which sees Daisy Ridley return as Rey Skywalker to build a new Jedi Order. Since its indefinite delay and removal from Disney's release schedule, there has been little to no news on the project. Some outlets report that the project has been completely scrapped, but the line from Lucasfilm, per Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, Rogue Squadron is a project that still gets discussed, and that we've been mulling over whether the project should remain a feature film or morph into a television series. And perhaps that's where my exclusive comes in. Here he comes right here. Squirting all over. According to my sources, Patty Jenkins, husband and former merchant marine.
Oh shit!
Former merchant marine.
Can he take out Taylor Sheridan though?
I think he's gonna fucking take out take out Snyder for fucking spreading shit about his wife. No, I'm kidding.
Who's the guy from
Taylor Sheridan is
same? Are these the same Sheridans?
Nah, the different Sheridan.
Are they like the Hemsworths and the
Rob?
What's the guy?
Sheridan.
The guy from Andor. Those guys. What are those brothers? The Skarsgårds. The Sheridans. The Skarsgårds.
All right. I'm gonna share do. The writer of the TNT series, I Am the Night, which starred Chris Pine from Star Trek, who they apparently love, and consulting producer of Amazon Prime Video's Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, penned a draft of a Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Despite his television work, and that's the key here to Bespin's thing that he's laying out here in his thesis, I guess, is that the television work is kind of the big nudge on that one. Hey, that there's a link here. Sheridan is probably best known for being an established author, releasing books including A Fighter's Heart, One Man's Journey into the World of Fighting. So
he
best
can beat up Taylor Sheridan.
he can. And yeah.
Oh,
And
let's make them fight.
probably guys
Celebrity deathmatch.
who do karate in the front yard in red sweatpants, probably that too. But the other but see, last night me and Bestman, we were playing Fortnite, right? And he's like, I'm not. You know how I was busting his balls about the Charmin Obaid Chinoy films. He's like, I'm not writing that whole fucking title out. I'm not writing that whole title out. I'm not doing it. He's all, I'm not doing it. But then A Fighter's Heart, One Man's Journey into the World of Fighting. Is that what?
Yeah.
See?
He's either a little sexist or he let Chat GPT do the heavy lifting.
No, he's not sexist.
What? He's not. I said a
no.
little, like a smidge,
No.
like a smidgy, like a. I don't want to write their titles of books sexist, just a little bit.
Listen,
no?
you ain't built for this.
That's true.
This is not.
I
He's not a
could
little
write
sexist.
all this. You crazy?
Here's the thing: is he's not a little sexist. He's a little Costanza. That's actually.
Oh, Costanzist. He's a Costanzist.
Bestman says this man will beat Snyder's ass.
Yeah, but Snyder's like the Joker. Like no one thinks the Joker's gonna beat up Batman, right?
You wouldn't hit a man with glasses, would you? Yeah, Batman will, dude. He fucking decks him with the glasses on. Anyways, okay. And the Disaster Diaries: How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Apocalypse.
That's a ripoff of Doctor Strangelove, isn't it?
I wouldn't say it's a ripoff. I'd
Stop
say
worrying and love the bomb.
It's a reference. Right? Yeah, it's a reference.
Is it a reference?
Yeah, that's a huge. That's not like like a little unknown movie. It's a clear homage, I would say. I hadn't read the book.
What if you put "I love the apocalypse now"? Is that a double reference?
Redux.
Okay.
Maybe. My sources didn't state if it was a draft of a film script, a TV pilot, or a draft of a TV show. So this right here is I think the part that makes your brain go, what is it? My sources didn't state if it was a draft of a film script, a TV pilot, or drafts of a TV series. Just that Sheridan at some point worked on a draft of Rogue Squadron. But given his history with TV, I can't help but wonder if he penned a script for a series. And yeah, so that right there that makes the most sense. And it also makes me wonder if the fact that he's a TV guy, did he maybe take the original Patty draft and fuck around with turning it, how they did with Kenobi, where they tried to take a film series and break it into 6 episodes? Did he maybe do a pass at a sample for one of those, for instance? So anyways, previously, the only writer outside of Jenkins we knew who worked on the film script was Matthew Robinson, who's written on films such as Love and Monsters and The Invention of Lying. It's unclear to me at this time if Sheridan penned a draft of Rogue Squadron before or after Robinson's script was submitted. But according to Jeff Snyder, the film script for Rogue Squadron was considered a mess. Personally, I was never a huge fan of the Rogue Squadron being a film, or at the very least being the first Star Wars film in theaters following Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and I always thought it would make for a great TV series, and I hope the idea one day comes to fruition. I've not seen any of Sheridan's work, so I have no real opinion with regards to his involvement. Despite Wonder Woman 1984, I still think Jenkins is a great director and would like to see her direct Rogue Squadron, or at least an episode, if the idea that Kennedy put forward of it transforming into a series becomes a reality. And then here's where all of the places you could follow him, especially follow him on Mastodon, where he is the most active. So yeah, it's really important right there. Mastodon for your Bespin Bulletin exclusive scoops. Mastodon. Yeah. So the thing that I always say, my canned response is always, if you're going to do a fighter pilot show, it's going to be worse on Disney Plus because of the visual effects. Now, in terms of the drama and the character work, it's going to work fine in a series. And I kind of go like, the best actual answer is both, is a film and a series, a film that gives the visual spectacle and does a lot of the development, and then a series that, you know, lets you just delve into your stupid fighter pilot friends that you want to see. I'm not super in love with the idea of a Rogue Squadron series. It really depends on who does it personally. For me, like Dave Filoni and Favreau doing a Rogue Squadron series, to me, that would be tedious. I don't think they would do a good job at that flavor. I think like what you know what they've already done with Carson Teva is like, that's cool, but it like, and I like Carson Teva, but it doesn't make me go like, oh, give these guys Rogue Squadron, we're ready for more. Like we need 8 more of these guys. Like it's like, no, it's like kind of how they have it set up is fine for like what it is, but the rumor was that it was supposed to be an episode 9 era series though. So that would have, and if that has any truth to it, and I believe Disney inferred as much, but it was always weird lingo, so it was always a bit like, is it, you know? And but I would imagine that it would be about a new Rogue Squadron, a new group of pilots, and a new threat or reason that it needs to form. And when you look at like Rogue One, like when does Rogue One form? It forms when the body refuses to, the rebellion, the Rebel Alliance refuses to act, and then they go rogue. And then we have this rogue thing called Rogue Squadron, which would infer in a larger narrative that it's the same kind of thing, that it's disparate fighter pilots from various squadrons who would end up coming together for a mission that they weren't supposed to do, or that's too dangerous to do on the books or some shit. So, you know, there's all these books that people have, and they're going to correct me all day and tell me what it is and shit like that. And I could tell you, Lucasfilm probably doesn't give a fuck about that at all. They probably are just going to do whatever is exciting, makes an exciting moment in that script for the series. So, what does Rogue Squadron even mean? We don't even really know, you know. And
Right.
it's kind
I
of
don't
funny
even think
because
they know.
yeah. Well, remember when Rogue One was announced? Just Rogue One.
Yep.
We were like, oh, maybe that's a Rogue Squadron movie. That's what people thought for a
Yeah.
very long time. That was like, well, maybe it's about like the one of the pilots, or like the main guy, the main new guy, or whatever.
You
And
think the sequel to Outlaws will be Rogues?
right, maybe.
Outlaws, Rogues,
Mhm.
Scoundrels.
Yeah,
Right.
they'll add a lightsaber and an expansion called it Rogue Jedi
Sabers.
Outlaw.
A bunch of
Bestman
sabers.
Bestman says Snyder challenges people to one-on-one basketball matches. Sheridan will take him in the octagon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy would check you, and then you'd have to wear one of those funny basketball transparent masks when we play after that. So,
the DJ Doctor Doom mask. That'd be
yeah.
great. DJ Doctor Doom, like that. Put that one on.
All I know is now whenever you see Patty Jenkins, when she looks at you, she sees a boy because she has a
Dude,
man.
give Snyder some credit. He got into a ring with Uwe Boll and lost. You know what I
He did.
mean? Like,
He fought.
yeah, he's the
Snyder's the one who
guy.
fought him.
He's the
Oh, he's
one.
the guy
That's
who fought
him.
him. Oh,
Yeah.
this really might happen then.
Yeah. No. He learned his lesson. Basketball.
Yeah,
That's where you challenge. I'm more of a bowler. You know, like you
yeah.
know,
How
over the
about we go?
line. Like I'm
How about
that
we
guy.
go to the driving range and see who can hit it further? That's where I'm at.
Can we just play some Street Fighter, like old school? Like,
See, the thing about it is I'm pretty cheap with Blanca, and then people want to hit me in real life, so it leads. It's the same road.
all you gotta
Sam,
do is use short attacks on Blanca, knock out that electricity,
yeah,
Jason. They don't
I
understand how it works.
know, but I jump in, electrocute.
Mm-hmm.
See, I know the angles. Anyways,
Yeah, but I can counter back with the medium punch and then follow up with the don't start with me. Like,
sounds like you need to buy the new
don't
Street
start with
Fighter.
Robin.
It
Old
sounds
school
like
Street
you need to
Fighter.
buy the new Street Fighter,
Yeah.
and I will.
I don't like new. I like old Street Fighter. I don't like.
Oh, we could play old rules. You know, we could play old
Yeah,
rules.
I get the rule. I don't like the 3D, like 2D.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay.
I don't like the way it looks and feels.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't feel right.
Well, actually, I have Street Fighter 2 on Xbox. Pick it up, and we could settle this like gentlemen. We can do it. It's on there.
We got to get a real
No
arcade
excuses.
because
No.
the problem with
Oh,
you is
he
you'd be
keeps
using
moving the goalpost.
macros.
No, I'll just use the controller, man. I'll do it on camera. I'll be right here. I'll be sitting right here when we do it.
Right,
There will be no fights. The fight stick. I'll do the fight
right
stick.
here on camera.
I'll do the fight
I'm
stick.
on camera. I'm a ghost on camera.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You could use whatever you want. Nobody beats my Blanca. Nobody beats my Blanca. Okay. It's just the rules. Sure. It's the rules of life.
It's on your Tinder.
It should be. The shocker. The Blanca shocker.
That's what I'm saying. This is good. This is devolving.
Sam the Sham says, Spider-Verse made me appreciate or reappreciate animation storytelling. So much emphasis on live action as it tells better stories. As if it, and obviously, it doesn't. Like, I think the Spider-Verse films are the best Spider-Man movie ever. I had a really fun time watching No Way Home. I thought the movie was way more fun than it deserved to be. That's praise. I didn't have
like all three of those live action ones.
Yeah, I didn't have faith in the idea. It sounded like a bunch of spectacle, but I had a fucking great time with the spectacle. It was fucking fun. But the like depth of storytelling and everything in the Spider-Verse films is I mean, like, I actually think that those are probably right now, if the third one doesn't shit the bed, the best. It's probably the best.
What if they go to the Old West in the third one? Like
that, I'm there for it. We go to the
they already had the Spider Cowboy, right? They already had him.
Yeah, it's true. And maybe
Spider Horse. It's possible.
But yeah, I am. I do like the trend of this whole trend of like multiverse stuff. I'm actually a fan of it, but I do think it's kind of about run its course now. I'm thinking that the third Spider-Verse movie, that might be kind of when it's time to slow down on it a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately though, Jason, right? Like that next Avengers movie don't come out till 26, 27, so you're stuck with this for a while.
Yeah. So Sam says animated Luke, Han, Leia adventures walking on eggshells around those characters in a live action New Republic show. Yeah, it's no.
We got the Rogue Squadron dude with his detective work. Right? We can just follow him around in his X-wing solving crimes in space. He just
the thing about it is with the fragile, like, I don't know, the fragility of some fans. I wouldn't want to fuck with those characters just because, like, fucking Luke, Luke will get the flu in an episode and they'll be like, not my Luke Skywalker or something. You know what I mean? Like, it just, the people are so fucking touchy. I don't even see the advantage in it. I would have a great time with something like that. I mean, and I realistically, what I wish that they would do, which they will never do, but I wish that they would take the Marvel comics that they do, since those are supposed to be canon, and that they would just turn those into like animated films with those characters, and like not for the theater, but just like direct to video or direct to Disney Plus, whatever, both. And that way those stories are further canonized, and then you're not really like, because if we had a live action shows going on with Luke, Leia, and Han in them in any way, and we have cartoons with Luke, Leia, and Han in any way, and comics, there's no way those three canons can not start to become silly. Like, oh, well, Luke, comic book nerd guy would be like, well, Luke should know that in caves, precipitation is this because of this, and that's why he wouldn't have gone in. And you're just like, yeah, okay, nerd. So anyways, I see it as a losing fucking thing. I know, like, the right canned answer, like, if you want to be a successful YouTuber, is, yeah, Lucasfilm, what the fuck, bro? Like, that's what you should be doing. And but realistically, these people can't handle it. They're not grown-ups enough. Bestman says Patty has done TV in the past, and so has Sheridan. So if financed well and perhaps have it filmed in the UK, it could become a quality series. And that's the other thing that came to my mind about that. When I look at that Andor budget, what we heard in the UK, is that done? Is that over? The way that Gilroy's talking about it, like, and obviously his show didn't get huge numbers. It's not a huge smash hit that's justifying the budget of Rogue One. Andor. That Andor budget is so like is robust. It's expensive. And he seems to be talking about it in the past tense. Like they're still figuring shit out, and they figured out that they're not doing that anymore. And then, but we have Acolyte. Acolyte seems to be kind of around there. And so, are we seeing that taper off? Can we expect the UK productions to continue to be at the Andor budget level, or not? And I hope so, because I mean, I think when we look at the Disney Plus cuts, because people are so focused on Star Wars and Marvel, that's all that Disney Plus is. But when you want to look, if you want to look at it from a budgetary standpoint, where Disney Plus was bleeding a ton of money, wasn't necessarily in the Marvel and Star Wars spheres, which is why people subscribe for the most part. I'm not subscribing like we always make fun of. Fucking Tom Hanks is fucking Pinocchio. Tom Hanks is Geppetto. It's not why I fucking spent $12 for my Disney Plus subscription that month. And so there's a chance that those go normal. Those continue to be overly overpriced and expensive, and we win. But I am afraid that those days are over, and Disney is bombed out at the box, as me and Beth's been talking about all the time. They're bombing out at the box office like really fucking hard, like this summer already.
Thank God for that Guardians, huh?
I don't think that's
850
gonna,
million. That's
no, I don't.
I'm
I
not
don't.
going to say
I
the
don't think that's
company,
gonna.
but at least
Yeah, I
it
don't think.
provided a win. Sold some
Yeah,
merch.
it's at least. It's at least a win. Yeah, for sure. But I don't. I think Indiana Jones like is gonna bomb. I don't want it to, but I do think it's going to, and I think it's going. And before the summer, because I don't really follow box office stuff that much. Recently, it's been sort of like kind of like a little side hobby, because Bestman and I keep talking about it, and then I get these ideas in my mind. I start doing research, and then it's kind of like I'm kind of into it at the moment. And before, like I thought Flash with Michael Keaton in it, and our generation so happy about it. That's such a winning idea. I thought, man, that thing might be an $800 million movie, more maybe. That could be $1 billion summer movie if the Ezra shit doesn't tank it. That's what I thought. And we didn't get up. Our generation didn't get up off its ass and go to the movies to see it, or it was only our generation. But I looked at it at the theater when I was there, and it looked like it was a bunch of 22-year-old GameStop employees. That's what it looked like. So point being, the Generation X, the cuspers, and the people that were there in '89, they didn't get up off their butts and go see it. They're just gonna rent it. Maybe the movie will make a ton on rentals and being purchased, as a movie for that reason. But it didn't happen. And so my thing is, when I think back to the summer of '89, when I get a little Uncle Rico, and I'm like, I could have thrown a football 2 miles, man. But when I think back to that, like I'm like, fucking Indiana Jones and fucking Batman, those guys, like I could have fought you all day about who would have won in a fight as a kid. Like that's how much like I loved those two characters, and a lot of my friends did too. I think it was pretty common. Like those two dudes are like the dudes. So they didn't get up to see Batman. And I don't know if they were necessarily like taking a fucking political stance on Ezra Miller either. To be honest, I doubt they were. Probably hurt the box office for sure, but not. I don't think that generation follows that enough. Follows celebrity or the internet at that level to even know who Ezra Miller is, and or to have seen the TikToks about the bad visual effects. So I'm just like, yeah, they didn't get up to go see Michael Keaton's Batman. They just didn't do it. And I don't know. So I don't know if they're
To
going to
be
get
fair, the
a
movie's called
Indy.
The Flash, not Michael Keaton's Batman. Like,
Yeah,
to
but
be
at
fair,
the
they
at
could try
the
all they want with marketing that. At the end of the day, it's still called The
yeah,
Flash. Like,
but
and I
the highlights of the Super Bowl trailer was Michael Keaton, but they also squandered it.
yeah,
Remember, he's all,
no,
I'm
like,
Batman.
yeah,
Like
but like
they cut
it's
to that.
right. It's not the
I
same
don't know what
as
they were thinking with that
a
one.
spectacle. It's just
Yeah.
a guy standing there saying, "I'm going to be in the movie." Is not the same as. I mean, go look at the original trailer for Matt Reeves' The Batman, and then go look at the Flash trailer and tell me which one are you inclined to go watch in the theaters. Just
Oh,
curious.
but I'm not. But that's not what I'm. Yeah, but that's not where I'm on about.
It's
I'm on
presented
about.
in a goofy family way, and I'm just saying,
Yeah,
man, like,
and
you
and
know, like that's
I'm talking
may
about
not
like
be what they were looking for with that. You know,
what I'm suggesting though is that is the Flash and the Michael Keaton's lack of a draw. Is it the harbinger of huge failure for Indy? And I kind of think it is. I kind of
well, in the
and
same way that, like, look, the big complaint that seems to be
mhm,
running around, you know, is that he's old. I mean, they were saying that in 2008. Now
yeah.
it's like, yeah, he's old. That's the story, but he's
So are
old.
you.
I,
You know what I mean?
I
It's like yeah.
almost, yeah, I know. Like, if he were doing something more crazy, you know, but he's riding a horse and then he's CGI falling out of a plane, which we literally just saw the exact same stunt in the Uncharted film. Like,
He
it's in
fucking
every
invented it.
trailer.
He invented it. He gets to do it, Rob. It's his. He
Yeah,
did it in a
well, you know, they
rap.
complained in the 80s about falling out of a plane in an inner tube raft, and I was the only one defending it. So.
It's his. People need to remember
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
he often does it with really young Asian boys. Don't ask why. Just go with it. Just go with it.
Matt and Trey Stone, Matt Stone, Trey, whatever. The South Park guys are like, well, hold on. You said what?
Um, yeah, Keaton is old, just like Harrison Ford. Yeah, no, exactly. That's kind of where there's so many commonalities between how that works. But the difference is Indy is Indiana Jones. It's not the Flash. It's not Helena Shaw. Is that her name? Helena Shaw. Helena Shaw, and then Indiana Jones is in it as the mentor. This is an Indiana Jones film, and you know, and I think that the like post Crystal Skull kids though, they I think all of those Gen Xers having their fucking period and having this fucking thing over that movie just turned everybody off to the Indiana Jones franchise in general. I don't think it really passed down. I don't think it like and I don't think I don't think Lucasfilm, Disney, or Paramount fostered the like legacy of it. And so we don't have like that whole thing where there's just like a bunch of new fans coming into it all the time, or we're like discovering it. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but it's not the same as like a Batman or something like that. So I don't know, man. I really hope that it's not. I hope it's not like a huge flop, but it's not looking good for it. You know, it's not looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's not looking. It's not looking. I don't think super good. And our audience is going to find it, you know, a movie about an old man retiring, boring in the summer. Like you keep making fun of Oppenheimer, but I keep looking at this movie going like, is this actually going to be a summer movie, or should this have been a December like movie
Yeah,
or
look, I'm
time?
not
You
making
know?
fun of it.
Yeah,
How am I? I'm. My snarkiness comes from the fact that it's an extremely serious topic
yeah,
that's being made out to be a summer spectacle.
yeah.
Like Dunkirk is at least a war movie,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which by the way, I love Dunkirk, so I
Mm-hmm.
love that movie. But Oppenheimer, this is like a mental, psychological, I
Yeah.
don't know, thriller. Maybe depends on. Look, it depends on how long the movie has you staring at a machine with, you know, going on in the fucking background all fucking day. Because the minute Matt Damon started talking, I was like, "Are we in Inglorious Bastards?" Like, because
Mm-hmm.
like that dude is in a different movie, right? like,
Yeah.
you know, he's like fun.
Royal Fino says Kilmer and Clooney don't matter. Just look at the last 10 years. We had three Batmans, Bell, Affleck, and Patty. Oh yeah, Battinson as they call him. There's been 6 Batmans in our lifetime. I think nostalgia for Keaton isn't special. Special to
Well,
me. To me, that's
beyond
the
that though,
first Batman.
Jason, look,
That's the first Batman
look,
that mattered. You know,
sure, we could all say these
it
things,
it got me
and
to
they
the
could
theater.
be sort
That's
of
why I
true.
went. That's why for
The
this guy, it's true. That's why I went.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing, and I like to simplify this way down, way down beyond all that stuff. If the movie's called The Flash, you need to be excited to go see The Flash. If the movie's called Loki, you got to be excited to watch Loki. If the movie's called Super Mario Brothers, you got to be excited to see the Super Mario Brothers. They got to be the focus. That's got to be why you're going to. It can't be called Super Mario Brothers and you're like, but it's got a big Metroid thing in the middle, and that's
Yeah.
the whole reason why we're gonna get all the Metroid fans, and that's why you go. That is the problem with a lot of these fucking recent events where you're like, it's Hawkeye, but really it's about Daredevil and Kingpin. Like, no, it should be about Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't fucking look. I don't want to see this Craven movie, but I got a funny feeling it is about Craven, and they're gonna see. No one cares. Should have
Yeah.
Spider. He's a villain. You know what I mean? Like, but at least it's one of those things, man, where it gets confusing for the mass audiences, and I have at least 15 years experience dealing with selling things to mass audiences. And
Yeah.
it's like, when you get a license to get something else, it's confusing for folks. Like, well, why are they selling me Batman if it's a Walking Dead shirt? Like, that's basically it. You're like, well, Batman's part of that episode, so we're able to put it on there, and technically we snuck in a Batman one, but then it competes with the other Batman shirts on the fucking. It's just weird. It throws people off. It doesn't do the thing you think it does. It's fun, but do you really think the audience knew why Nicolas Cage was a Superman in that movie?
Nope.
Like, no. I mean, that's let alone like, so it's like, what does that have to do with the Flash? I'm sitting there asking myself all sorts of questions about the Flash in the movie.
Yeah, if you were just like my dad or something, and you saw it, you're just like, oh, they just think it's funny that like in some dimension Nicolas Cage is Superman. Like that's
it'd
how
be one thing if he was teaming up with the Flash from the '90s show. And I guess, you know what I mean? Then you got the old 90s Flash and Keaton in there. And, it'd be one thing. The old generation and a CGI Christopher Reeve, I guess, teaming up with the new ones, and like, it'd be one thing. But at the same time, there's just not a lot of nostalgia, despite what the internet thinks. There's not a lot of nostalgia for Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Like, there just isn't. I like the movie, man. I think Hans Zimmer's score is brilliant.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I know the movie's not exactly like brand new anymore, but I also don't think on that one, like, it's old enough to really have like that nostalgia yet,
Right.
like it's a little
so it's like
too recent on that front.
And I gotta think too, man. Like my whole point with superheroes is, and this is my favorite kind of storytelling in general, is when you put the audience in the shoes of the character. When you're outside the character, watch them do plotty things. Like, I just tune out, man. But I want to feel like I am the Flash racing to save my own mom. The minute, I'm like watching the Flash do flashy things with a couple other Flashes and a bunch of, like, that's not the same deal.
Yeah.
There's no transference there. So, I mean, one of the smart things in the Mario Brothers movie was at least right away you're with him doing the Mario level, right?
Do the Mario. I saw that there was a video, and this guy, he was mad about Bowser being a simp. It's like, that's what Bowser is. That's the whole premise of Mario Brothers. I was like, what world was Bowser fucking laying down pipe for like the fucking Hammer Brothers, bro? And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I just saw the video. I started laughing. I was like, oh man, like, that's what you're trying to sell? Okay, cool, man. Because that's actually the most accurate thing in that movie is Bowser. He's a little bitch. But Pistol Pete says Harrison Ford doesn't seem to care about the movie, so why should the audience? I really disagree with you on this one, Mr. Pete. Ford actually on the Indiana Jones movies really does care. And when he does, like, what was like LA Confidential or whatever the fuck, I can't remember what that shit was. What was that movie he did with the fucking Ferraris and shit? You can see the movies where he's checked out. The Indiana Jones movies, he never checks out. He likes the indie movies. when you look at the promotion for it, he's interested, he's engaged. But the thing about it is that sarcastic, laconic kind of attitude that he has that's super attractive when he's 38 years old comes off a lot different when he's like in his 60s and 70s. And it doesn't work, and it's not as charming, and it even seems a little bit more mean. And it's not, I don't think he is. I just think that's what happens when he doesn't have the same looks that he used to have. But in terms of this stuff, the Indiana Jones stuff, he actually cares about it. I actually you could even watch videos of him defending Crystal Skull. Like he's been defending Crystal Skull, saying, and there was even another video where they were like, what's Temple of Doom or Crystal Skull? And he's like pretty adamant that he likes Crystal Skull as a better film to him. But I get what you're saying. Like if he really didn't care, if he was just there for the check, but in this one, that's not the case. I think he's actually going to be pretty bummed if this one bombs, and I kind of think it is, and I would love to be wrong. I'm not. There's a lot of, like I said, on the internet, everybody's like, yeah, oh my god, like Disney's really gonna suck and all this stuff, and Warner Brothers is so fucked. Yeah, so the fucking James Gunn Batman movie, right? Like that's gonna be cool. It's like, no, everybody needs to
their
realize
chance.
This is all going to fuck everything else in some way. It like the better these films do, the more likely they're gonna pay for those other films that everybody wants. And I'm just like, this isn't good. This summer isn't going well, and it's not good for the industry at all.
Well, I mean, look, revenue wise, for theaters, it's going well. Like, given the past 2 years, but individually,
the producers,
look, even last year, they had a couple breakouts, but there was a lot of misfires in terms of they weren't doing a lot there too. So part of that, I put on studios placing their bets on streaming saving them. Like streaming isn't the same as individual video rentals at a store, where they got a piece of every one of those. They got a piece of the sales of the tapes to those stores, and they got a piece of the rental on top of everything.
Yeah.
And then they got another piece of the pie when people could own the video. A year after.
Bespin was telling me about Fast and the Furious. They asked Universal, why are you guys doing another one so quick? And they were like, well, the last one, when all of a sudden done, it made us like $1 billion.
Right.
And so that's why so this one didn't perform super well at the box office, but once it gets into rentals and all of the stuff that you're talking about, the amount of money that's actually going to generate ends up being
literally
being well worth it. But when the movies,
and literally what they're one of the reasons they're on strike, because they can't get numbers on what those financials really are.
Right.
If they're like, we lost money, if they were really losing money, they would just give out the financials. We lost the money,
right.
But when they don't want to give out the financials, they just want to claim to always lose money, but they don't want to show you.
Sure. Dave Anthony was on a podcast. I sent it to you yesterday. I don't think you got a chance to if you checked it out or not, but on it, he's listening to John Hamm and Bill Maher talk about the strike. And he's actually like a TV writer. So they fucking go in on it like hard. And it was funny though, but it was laying out exactly like that kind of stuff. Like John Hamm is like, both sides say nobody's making any money. And it's just like, and then he brings up Men in Black has never made money. Never been profitable. The writer of Men in Black never been compensated adequately for the work on Men in Black because of studio accounting, which is just fucking batshit insane. Of course,
which we all know is bullshit.
Yeah, they didn't go.
We know it made money.
They made more Men in Black movies because they made money.
Well, beyond that, they've been trying to make a lot of their other properties into Men in Black.
Yeah,
since then. Like if you look at Hellboy, Sony made Hellboy, they turned Hellboy into Men in Black. It's nothing like the comic. It's like, it's got this agency and they all hunt monsters secretly amongst people. Like they gave it that Men in Black like cartoony vibe. Then they did the R.I.P.D. Then they did fucking man, they're always doing fucking Men in Black. They're always trying to turn shit into Men in Black. Like they want that that Men in Black money back.
Yeah.
But
there was So Amy asked me on every platform, everywhere, about Luke Skywalker being in this thing, and then always says what I said or didn't say about about Luke Skywalker being in anything. Like I've always said, if Luke Skywalker was in it, and I told you he was in it, then that would be the story. But I don't have a Luke Skywalker is in anything story to tell you. So I didn't say he's not. I didn't say he is. Don't think he is though. Doubt he is. I would not expect to see Luke Skywalker in the Ahsoka series. I would expect to see Ahsoka and the Rebels characters, and probably leave it at that for the moment. So, but if I had Luke Skywalker was in it, that would be a story on MakingStarWars.net for sure. You know. But all right, guys, I gotta have to cut it here now today, a little bit early today. I got stuff.
I
to
wanted
do.
to complain about the Flash again.
I know. Don't worry. Tomorrow, Rob.
Indy's impending doom.
Tomorrow,
huh?
I got all day tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll do 3 hours on the Flash's visual effects. No,
the visual effects that were so great, they didn't put any of those babies in one trailer or commercial.
Right.
That's how much they believed in it. Like, you know.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
It's a great sequence, though, isn't it? It is a great sequence. It just doesn't.
It's the idea of it's fun. The execution of it is.
Well, yeah, I would say as an animatic, it's great. It's a great animatic of the sequence, you know. But yeah, that's what it is. All right, guys. We'll see everybody in a few.
It's no Order 66, Jason. I just want you to know that. You know.
All right.
You can kill those kids in the animatic, but when the day of, you gotta pull it off too. You know.
All right, bye, George. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
It's the end of the show. Come
on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.
Hey!
Yo.
All
right. Yeah, sorry, that fucking chick is like calling like constantly right now, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man? So I was like, I better go. But we
on the right foot here.
Did the fucking news, so you know it's fine. But all right, dude, I'll talk to you in a bit. Yeah, after this, I think everything will be. I'll be like on my regular schedule or whatever. So, I'm still live. We didn't end the broadcast. Oh well, here we go. Everybody, see you guys later.